Good afternoon, everyone. So we'll continue with chapter 9 of history. 9 of history, which is women, caste, and reform. Okay. It's not coming clearly. Video is not coming clearly. Is it the problem with everyone? Is the board visible and am audible to everyone or not? No, ma'am, no. I'm not audible. I'm audible and board is visible to everyone. Okay. Then Sakshan, that is the problem with you. Basically, if I say. Okay. So we'll continue. In our previous class, we discussed about Raja Ram Mohan Roy. How Raja Ram Mohan Roy worked for the how he worked for the Western education and as well as for the change. Okay. So how he banned Sati Pratha, what was the contribution in that? That we discussed in the previous class, right? So after the hard work of Raja Ram Mohan Roy, in 1829 the Sati Pratha was banned, and we discussed that all the other reformers, they also adopted the same strategy. So what was that strategy? Basically the strategy was they tried to find a verse or sentence in the ancient sacred texts that support their point of view. So basically this was the strategy followed by all the reformers after Raja Ram Mohan Roy. So what they were doing, they tried to find the words or sentence in the ancient sacred texts that support their point of view. Okay. And like that, claiming that the practice was against early system. So they used to go and read the sacred texts which we have, and in that they try to find the words or sentence which used to support their point of view. Like if Sati Pratha is not there in the sacred text, they can say that this practice was not done earlier. So in starting, we were not having this practice in our culture. And like this, they can claim the things and they can change the things. Okay. So after Raja Ram Mohan Roy, we will talk about Ishwar Chandra Vidyashankar. We have already read about him in the previous chapter, education chapter, right? He also contributed a lot in the girls' education. So, what Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar did, he also used the Asian test. He also used the Asian texts to suggest that widows could remarry. Now Raja Ram Mohan worked for Sati Pratha. The same way Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar, he worked for remarriage of widows. So he used the ancient text to suggest that widows could remarry. Okay, but this suggestion was adopted by the British officials, and the law was passed in 1856. The British approved this, and in 1856 the law passed for the widow remarriage. That means the widow were now permitted to remarry. But the thing is, this all happened, but Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar faced a great boycott. Okay, the people opposed and boycott the Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar. Now, as they say, for this we can take the example. Now law passed, the widows were permitted to remarry, but still when Vidyasagar brought this thing into the debate, he was opposed. He was boycotted. Why? Because the people who were there, they were thinking, the conservatives were thinking that this person is changing our culture. He is attacking on our culture. So people were taking in that way. Now in every society, there are people, and it is not necessary that everyone will have the same opinion, same point of view. Some people will be there against the rules. Whatever thing comes, whatever changes come, they are against the changes. They don't want the things to change, right? Some people do changes, they are in the favor of changes, but there will be always some people who don't want to change. So conservative people were also there who were opposing the Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar and boycotting. Okay, but after 1850 there was a spread of movement for the widow remarriage. Sorry, the movement was there for the widow remarriage, and at last in 1856, the law passed which permitted the widow remarriage. Okay. Now one more name is there. Veer Salingam Pantulu. Veer Salingam Pantulu. Now he worked in Southern India. So what he did in the Telugu speaking areas, obviously where will be the Telugu speaking areas? It will be in South. So now the movement was going all over the India. Okay, if you see, the movement is going all over the India, right? So in the Telugu speaking areas of the Madras Presidency, he found that Okay. And also there were intellectuals, young intellectuals and reformers in Bombay Presidency also who were working towards the same case. So in Madras Presidency also, if you see, the people were working. Veer Salingam Pantulu was working. They formed an association. Now these association were finding those kind of women. They used to find the man who can marry this type of woman, and this is how they used to work. Also in Bombay Presidency, there were intellectuals and reformers. They were also doing the same thing. So if you see, in northern part already this was happening. In Madras Presidency also the people working. Veer Salingam Pantulu was working. Now in Bombay Presidency also the people were working. Right. So this movement was going all over the country. Now came Dayanand Saraswati. Now Dayanand Saraswati. We also read about Dayanand Saraswati in the education field. Right. Now who can tell me which organization was there? Which association was founded by this Dayanand Saraswati? Who can tell me? Be quick to answer. Which association was formed by Dayanand Saraswati? Please give the answer. Till the time, okay, I got answer from Shivani and Shivani's answer is correct. I am waiting for others' answer. Okay, Dayanand Saraswati, he also worked for widow remarriage. He also worked for widow remarriage. So he also supported the widow remarriage. Now anyone else? Others? You don't know which organization was founded by Dayanand Saraswati? Till now class 8, what do you know? This also you need to go and Google. The same thing we need to read again and again and again if you go through history, civics, geography. The same things. So try to keep something in your brain. Your brain is not having that much of space or what? Manjeet has answered, Saksham has answered, and both answers are correct. What about others? Still on Google, stupids. So, Dayanand Saraswati founded Arya Samaj. Arya Samaj was founded by Dayanand Saraswati and they also supported widow remarriage. Now we discussed that what are the things done by the reformers. Movement was going on everywhere in the India, right? There was Veer Salingam Pantulu, he was working in South. Dayanand Saraswati was also supporting this. Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar has done movements for this. And after 1850, the movement started all over the India. And at last in 1856, British officials also supported this. And they also permitted the widow remarriage. Everything happened. But what was the ground reality? Okay, so what was the ground reality for this? Law was there. Law is for everything. But was that law followed or done? what happened? Actually, the widows who were remarried, they remained low. Now, what does that mean? Also, whoever married, they were not accepted easily in the society, and the conservative groups who were there, they were continuously in against of this new law. Now, what happened? Suppose, okay, we'll take a scenario. We have law regarding dowry. Yes, dowry. Regarding dowry, we have law. Basically, what was the system earlier when we talk in starting? The people who used to marry the girl child, the girl child has to go to the husband's place, right? So basically, in starting, this settled culture were not there, and people has to move for a very long distance, right? So girls, what happened? The transportation was not good, right? So it takes a long time to travel and to reach to father's place. One girl is married and she went to the husband's place. It was very difficult for the girl child to come back and visit father's place every time, because this kind of transportation system was not there. Today, by aeroplane, you can just go in 2-3 hours. You can visit from one place, one corner to other corner, right? But that time this was not there. It was taking very long time to travel. So girls were very oftenly coming to the father's place to meet, basically on the occasions. Okay, so this was the scenario. So in that case, what the people were doing, what father was doing, they used to give some gifts to the girl child when they get married and when they go to their father's place, husband's place. Okay, so they used to give gifts. Okay, that was gifts. Now, as you must be knowing, gift means that is as per the wish of the person who is giving. Now, if suppose Shraddha is giving any gift to me, she can give anything what she likes, right? I cannot go and ask Shraddha, give me this gift. Do you people do like that in your birthday? You don't do that. You don't ask for the gift that I want this gift, right? Whatever person like, they give you by their own wish, what they are capable of. Yes, the same thing was there when there was marriage, when girl child was married. The father was giving gift to the girl child, whatever they are capable of, and as the things were given as a gift to the child. Now later on, for profit, what people did slowly and gradually, like what happened with Sati Pratha? At starting, the women were doing willingly, right, to save themselves. But later on, it was made a rule. Now every woman has to go through this. Every woman who was widowed, she has to die. Yes. The same thing happened with the dowry. Earlier it was gift, and later on this became a tradition. Now the people from boys' side, they started demanding. Gift cannot be demand. You cannot demand for the gift, right? It is given willingly. But later on, what happened? From gift, it became a rule for the society that you have to pay this much if I marry your daughter. If my boy will marry your daughter, this much money you have to deposit to me. Like this dowry system came into existence. Now, what happened? Because of these, many girl child has to go through many difficult type of conditions, right? People used to murder the girl child, right? The in-laws side. Many of the cases came after that. There was a law passed for dowry. Now taking dowry is illegal. Now, if you see, there is law for the dowry and you cannot demand dowry as per the law. But when we talk about the ground reality, is it so? It is is not like this. Still people are taking dowry, still people are demanding for money to marry the girl. Yes? In case, if a girl is opposing that, or the family member of girl is opposing that, they oppose that we will not give dowry, they go against the society. There is two different rules. One rule is as per the constitution, second rule is there in the society. So in society, if the parent of girl child or the girl child herself will oppose that no, I am not going to give dowry, so what will happen? A negative perception will be fixed for the parents and for that family. Right? Now no one will now these things are slowly and gradually, if you say it is not gone totally from the society, but yes, slowly and gradually, if you see, that is 2% or 3%, it is changing. Earlier it was not that much also. So what is there now, the people will make a perception for that family and they will boycott that family. No one will bring any like the people used to bring the relation for marriage, no, they used to bring proposal for marriage. Now no one is going to take any proposal to that family. Now the girl will not get married. Whatever process we have in our society, by that process that girl will not get married. Okay, in the society. So like this, what they do, they boycott the people who oppose the rules of the society. But actually, if you see, there is the law for dowry and it is illegal to take dowry. You can go and complain. But if you do so, what will happen? You will be opposed by the society. The society will not accept you. The same thing happened with widows. This is the current scenario which you can easily see in your surroundings, and this was the present scenario. The widows who were there, if they remarried, they were not accepted by the society. The society does not accept them. Okay, so this was the reality of the woman. The law came, but the society does not accept the people who were following these new rules, new laws. Any question till now, anyone? Anyone, any question regarding this? No questions? Now next topic is girls begin going to school. Now we saw how the rules were changing, laws were made for the different social events we were having in our society, like Sati Pratha, widow remarriage. So these things, the law were passed for these things, and the next was girls begin going to school. So education part. Okay. Now in education, if you see, till now what you have seen, that people, social reformers and intellectuals, they were working the laws, right? They were working for the change. But what they thought that till what time we are going to work for the women. Now it is time to empower women. When they will know, when they will educated, when they will know how to read and how to write, they can think about themselves. Then they are not depend on, they will be not depend on anyone, right? Now the men were only working for the women, right? But now they thought that we should empower the women so that they can themselves work for themselves, right? So for that, what was the thing? Education. If the girls will get educated, what was there in their mind? If girls will be educated, they will first they will be self-dependent, right? When they will be educated, they can do any work. There will be no dependency on others. If a woman is not working, she will depend on others. The male members, whoever is there in the family, like before marriage on father, after marriage on husband, right? She will always depend on the male member of the family. But once she is educated, she can work for herself and she can take her own decision, right? If woman is dependent on other male members, she never can take her own decision, right? Whatever they will say, as she is dependent on them, no, she is dependent on them for her need. So whatever they will say, she has to listen. But if she get educated and she becomes self-independent, what will happen? She can take her own decision. Yes, for right things she can tell right, and she can just differentiate between the right thing and wrong thing, right? What is correct for her, what is wrong for her, she can take that kind of decision. So reformers thought that we should empower the woman, we should educate the woman so that woman herself can take decision for her. Okay. Now education. They thought that by education, through education, condition of women can be improved. Through education only, the condition of the women can be improved. If they will be self-dependent, they can take their own decision for their betterment. They can speak. Okay. So in this, if you see, we have already read about Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar. So Vidyasagar in Calcutta and many other reformers in Bombay. In Bombay, set up schools for girls. Okay. So Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar, we have already read in our previous chapter. He has worked towards the girls' education. So Vidyasagar in Calcutta and many other reformers in Bombay, they set up school for girls. But still, what we saw in previous widow remarriage, what we saw, the act was passed, but the women who were going for remarriage, they were always taken as low, right? They were not accepted by the society. So the same way, if you see, the reformers, they thought that we can educate the women. They have set up the schools also. But the thing is, there were many fear in the people in the society about the schools. So what were those fears? So those fears were, if this girl child will go to school, they will be away from home, and also it will prevent doing them the domestic work. So the thing is, they were having fear that if this girl, we send the girl child to school, who will do the domestic work? According to the society, the domestic work is only for the girls, right? So they were thinking, if we will send the girl away from home, they will go outside the home and they will go to school, who will do the domestic work? That was the fear. Next thing was, if the girl will walk through the public places, if she is going through public places, many people will have eye on her, and that can influence the like they can have a corrupting influence on the girls. That kind of mentality was there in the society. So first thing was, if the girls were away, who will do the domestic work? So doing domestic work was their problem. Second was, if they will go through the public places, many people will watch them, and the corrupting influence will be good. By that, the girls can be corrupted. That kind of thing was there in the society. Okay. So still there were many things happened. How the girls got educated, that we will study in our next class. Till now, if you have any question, please ask. If you have any question till now, please ask. Otherwise, next topic will be continued in next class. No questions? Okay. So whatever topics taught, please keep in mind and give answer as per the class. Don't give the answer from Google. Okay. Thank you everyone for today.